Okay, let's do a collective reading. I actually want to start with like what's actually around you. So, because I just have a feeling about something and I want to confirm it real quick. But something that was really funny is I just started randomly hearing, I think it is the song literally called My Body is a Cage, but I just keep hearing that's not a funny song, but like just the way it just popped in my head, like my body is a cage. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to have, I don't know if that's just my brain or if that has anything to do with the message, but let's just get it together. All right. So, Source, what is actually around this collective right now? What is the energy that's actually around them? And then we'll confirm it with how you're seeing your world. But this should resonate with you either way, because if it's the energy around you, you will be feeling it. One more. Thanks. Thanks. Okay, so you've got the self-expression card, the child card, the new beginnings card, masculine energy, the rabbit card. So 2 cards of new beginnings. It's kind of a big row, but 2 ones also. I'm not a numbers person, but when I notice it, it's kind of important. So 11 could be important. You could be a New Year's Day baby, but so this is what Source is saying is around you right now. And actually, this kind of confirms what I was thinking, is that you're sitting actually in foggy glasses energy. So you're not totally seeing your world. And I think you know that. Okay. This card is it's kind of funny anytime I do a reading and someone's like not seeing their world clearly, because it's like, yeah, I'm here to tell you that. But I think this collective, you literally know. You're like, I'm not seeing this right and I don't know what's going on, you know? It's a mental fog. You could be really forgetful right now. Why did I just see someone writing something on their hand? I do that sometimes too. When I'm like really trying to remember something, like immediately I'll write it on my hand. But I literally saw someone writing something on their palm. Maybe you just did that. This is negativity and clouds of judgment, but lacking clarity from confusion. I think you're confused, and the emotion that I was feeling was kind of like, well, I guess we'll see, because I think you've run the course on the negative part of this, the mental fog. Let's be real. When we're in a state of confusion for a really long time, and it's because of other people's actions or situations that we don't have answers to, you can only be bitter and resentful and angry for so long before you're just like, well, whatever. But right now, Source is saying you are speaking your mind and being heard in places that's actually giving you a lot of forward momentum with things. Your communication and your negotiation skills are balancing something internally, but you're going to be needing this, is what I'm hearing, because it says send a clear message at the bottom. This masculine energy, you could identify as masculine. It's just an energy, so it doesn't matter what you look like or what your gender is, but more action oriented, more prone to just like taking charge, taking the lead, being that teacher, that leader, that guide, more in your mind, more in the intellectual, although no, I'm not even going to go there. Sorry. Theoretically, masculine energy is intellectual and lacks emotional depth. I don't think that, I mean, there's a lot of nuance there, but that's actually what's around you right now. So you could be like really like locking in. Like you could be like, all right, I'm going to make a list. We're going to get this done today, which would make sense with trying to remember things and writing something on your hand. Where you're just like, I don't want to forget things anymore. I want to get shit done. It's actually creating 2 different new beginning energies around you. One, it's the spontaneous, carefree attitude, which I think really goes along with this foggy glasses energy of you just being like, I don't have the perspective I want. So the new perspective is I just don't know. But this new beginnings, the rabbit card, is more about a new beginning in a relationship, because it's also about fertility and sex and reproduction. I kind of see it as like a little mini Ace of Wands, where it's just kind of like this sudden increase of passionate energy, right? And then you've got dark to light. So right next to a card of not seeing things clearly, you've got a card of forging ahead and some sort of liberation and standing up for your truth, some sort of moment of courage. Do I think you're in that? Well, again, this is your energy, and I'm not going to argue with source, but like how much of this you're aware of? This 100%, right? But this 100%. The rest of it, I don't know. I think you're kind of just like, whatever. Not that you don't care about your life, but there's something here about this foggy glasses energy. Let's get one more for that. What's been distorted for this collective? Something that you have been on the long and winding road with, something that's been a sort of exploration in your personal growth, something that's led to a lot of self-discovery, but they're still not really showing me what that would be. Whatever it is, it's been, your view on it has been distorted because you've been on whatever journey this is for so long. It's been a leisurely can I talk? Leisurely pace, but it's required patience. So you must, because this is your contract, right? Source's perspective. You must be the type of person where patience is not something you're great at, right? Like you, especially if you sit more in masculine energy of like getting shit done or wanting to get shit done. Being patient and passive would have been hard for you. So it makes sense that it's here. I want one more. Maybe I'm hearing that's the larger lesson of like why you don't have clarity on things, because the actual lesson was to just sit in lack of clarity. That's a rough one. Like, that's annoying. One more. Whoa. You've got Sun card just tried to pop out. And that's another card of masculine energy. But wild card. So they're not going to show me. That's fine. Like, I don't personally feel one way or another about it. But I'm in your energy. And so that's annoying, right? Like... Because it's supposed to be a surprise. It's supposed to be open-ended. You're supposed to not hold on to, what comes next. Right? That's clearly the lesson you've been learning for a long time. And everybody does deserve a surprise. Everybody does. But if you're watching tarot, you're clearly connected to some sort of frequency outside of like 80% of people. So you would be intuiting it, right? But if you don't have it in the physical, you're constantly like, what's going on? It's been a theme for the past couple weeks of like sensing energy, but not having anything in the physical to represent it. So what's this self-expression that's around you right now? Whoa. Geez, another card of masculinity, but I like almost folded it in half. I love this deck, but they're not made out of the best materials. I wish... As I'm blabbing about something so unimportant. Divine intervention. So, everybody has their take on divine intervention. This card makes it seem like it's some sort of touch from God. Having personal experience with that sort of situation, those are really painful. So, it's where you're in a position in life, and it's not always this, but I think you've actually faced quite a few of these in your life, maybe without you even knowing it, where it's like you're off your path for so long that the divine has to like remove things in crazy ways. Like the company you're working at for, however many years and has been around for like 50, like shutters its doors one weekend, and your partner falls in love with somebody else, and like, your like apartment building like goes up in flames and nobody gets hurt, but like you have to find a new place. Like it's stuff like that where it's like big, in real estate they call it acts of God. Like when like big catastrophe happens, it's like unforeseen. I don't know why that just came to my mind, but I was like seeing a lightning bolt, but it's just like the divine has to intervene. And I don't like think, at least because I'm reading, and if I'm reading your energy, like we probably have similar views. My gods don't meddle unless they absolutely have to, right? It's like kind of like a last ditch effort to kind of like course correct. But I think it can also be in moments where we're about to make a wrong decision that could really prolong things in our life, and they kind of like give us the strength and the energy to make decisions. So let's say you're like wanting to end a relationship, and like you're really sitting there back and forth, and you like sit with yourself and you're like, do I do it? And then you just get this rush of energy to like, make the phone call or send the text or go to the person's house and be like, it's over. Like that can also be a divine intervention moment too, where it's like left to your own devices, you might not have taken the action needed, but that's over some sort of self-expression. So that tells me this collective, you've had this a moment recently where you expressed yourself in one way or another. It doesn't necessarily have to be with words, but you've taken some sort of action and it was divinely guided. It was in order to create duality and make sure that promises are kept. Some sort of ascension moment. And do you know that? I don't know if you know that. Maybe you do. Maybe you had a moment where you're like, wow, I can't believe I just did that. It should be ringing bells for the right person. I want to see one, like, I want one more and see what that was. Like, if they won't tell me what you've had a foggy, like, what you've had a mental distortion over, I would hope they tell me what your divine intervention moment was, right? Some sort of heart and mind connection, some sort of balance between intellect and emotion. So that tells me that whatever that moment was, you were stuck in your mind or you were stuck in your emotions about it, and they had to send you this intervention moment to balance that so you could make the right decision. Authentic decision making is literally on this card, but wholeness and integration of all the lessons you've been learning. So for the right collective, this will, like, it should ring a bell. It should be like, oh, that's what that was. And it would have been something that you had needed to be doing or to have done, and you finally got the strength to do it. The divine was at play with that, which is nice. What's this masculine energy? You got the pairing. So that would make, well, that is a good heart and mind duality, right? Yin and yang. That's what's around you right now. So you're actually in a place of really beautiful divine balance. I was seeing that kind of as external energy, but I think they're saying more it's you, like finding your internal harmony within, which is really nice. It's really nice. Let's get one more. Rising above, seeing things from a higher perspective, some sort of transition. Your third eye is being really activated right now, and you're really listening to your higher self, which would make sense why you're coming into duality. Okay, so but why was I called to do the message? Especially if they're not going to show me what this surprise is. Maybe it's just to reaffirm that the decisions you've been making recently are really coming from a more balanced place, which is nice. Like just to reassure you, which sometimes we just need reassurance that we're doing the right thing. Even if there's no indications in the physical, like our emotional health sometimes needs that comfort, right? Of like, it's okay. You're still doing the right thing. Everything's the way it's supposed to be right now. It's kind of what's just coming to my mind. Well, let's just get your emotion. Let's see how you're feeling emotionally. Maybe that'll give me a clue. Uncertainty. So that's what it is. Boom. Perfectly confirmed it. You're sitting in a lot of uncertainty where you're just really not sure about the decisions you've been making, especially when it comes to you expressing yourself. And whatever that divine intervention moment was, this message will be finding you to allay this, right? To show you that you don't need to sit in uncertainty. You are doing exactly what you need to be doing when you need to be doing it, which is really fucking nice. Let's get one more. Inspiration. That's that divine intervention. And hopeful. Good. You should be hopeful. This is a very optimistic spread. And I think you're trying to be optimistic in the face of uncertainty. That foggy glasses. I think you're coming out of thinking a lack of clarity is a block, and you're seeing it more of an inspiration, which is really nice. That's really nice. What's this new beginning in your energy? Something that has a lot of growth potential. They're so not giving it to me right now. There's so like, there's like 100 and something cards in here. Are there 180? Because it's 180 Oracle. That'd be interesting. Small beginnings, big results, hidden possibilities. More than meets the eye. Just keep going. Now I'm interested if they're going to give me any information about this. You're clearly a very special person. Status and illumination. But what is it illuminating, guys? Some sort of celebration. I see this as abundance of the soul, this chandelier card. It can be about like the finer things in life, but I don't like to gear a reading towards like the external, lifeless objects that people, want to obtain. It's also about beauty and legacy and tradition more than meets the eye. So whatever this new beginning is, you've already got planted the seeds by taking a stand or doing something with this divine intervention moment. And you don't see them germinating right now, and you're not supposed to, but it's a huge, like small beginnings, big results. That's nice. Why do I feel like this is work related? So you've maybe made a decision when it comes to work recently and you're like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I should be doing that. It's clearly got huge growth potential. Especially if you do something like go out on your own and like are an entrepreneur. I kind of hate that term, but it's like you just work for yourself, right? In whatever capacity. Like I work for myself doing stuff like this. So it's hard when there's not a structure already in place where you can just put yourself into the machine. If you're creating your own machine, it makes sense why you would be a little uncertain. I think the divine's saying in several different ways that you're very balanced. They helped you make that decision. Now they want you to understand that this new beginning, it's going to take time, but the seeds have already been planted for a really beautiful, like this card says status and luxury. So that's nice. What's the other beginnings card? That's the child card, but being spontaneous and carefree. Yeah, you're on a quest. Relocation. There's a reason I brought up how the divine intervention, like there's two different variations of it, in my opinion. You could be literally like thinking about relocating, but knowing where I'm going and leaving nobody behind on a quest, a migration. So this must have just very recently started for you. What's this? A major force. There's so much here about like snowball energy. Something that was very unexpected, but it's been building momentum for a long time, and there was external force behind it, that divine intervention. I just heard it's not about what you're going to get, and that's not what I'm trying to ask, but like, I think because I'm in your energy, I'm like really wanting to know what's next so it can confirm the decisions you're making and the path that you're on. But I think the important lesson here is just to trust that you're doing the right thing. There's not a single, for one, there's not a single bad card on this table, but for two, like sometimes when we start this journey, you just have to jump in. Like you just have to hold your nose and jump in, and then you have to swim when you hit the water. Like you can't always constantly be looking for the towel and the keys and like the car to get out of there. You know what I mean? It's kind of a messy metaphor, but I want one more for that row. The wheel. Oh, so this reading's just going to be about you. This is not going to be about what's going on. Because this card literally says fate, karma, forces of the universe, getting what you deserve. But most importantly, it's out of your hands. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that I know that's probably going to be like, but it's destiny and it's good. There's nothing here about imminent. I mean, this card says imminent danger on this avalanche card, but I'm not reading it like that. Because you're on a quest and you're leaving nobody behind, but it's innocent with new beginnings, a new perspective. Forging ahead, dark to light, standing up for the truth. One more. Yeah, innovation, ideas in action, progress. Perfect. Another card about, there's something so destined about this collective's energy right now, and you would feel it too. It could be another reason why you're needing reassurance and you're feeling very uncertain. Not just because whatever you're doing is new to you. That's a normal thing. But as spiritual people, like I find that this is one of the times when our shadow really rears its ugly head because it likes familiar. It's the familiar hell over the unfamiliar paradise. And it wants to sit in comfort and it wants to sit in familiarity. So it really gets in the way of spiritual growth because like you're not supposed to see the path forward. If you can see the path forward every step of the way, then it's not your path. And even spiritually, like nobody knows everything. The best place to be is in a place where you're like, I don't really know. Like, I think I know, but I'm always down to change my mind. That's the most powerful place you can put yourself emotionally, spiritually, mentally, whatever. It's just being like, I'm always down to change my mind. And I think I know what I know right now, but like open to change, right? That comes from not knowing. So that would be another thing that this collective you've been struggling with is just sitting in the unknown. Makes sense why they're not giving me any information about what's going on externally. Okay, one last one. Destiny. Now they're just taunting me. Destiny. Another card of things being out of your hands, but being guided through emotional loss and trials. It was always necessary to create your conviction to the things that you truly believe in and to yourself. I'm hearing that's really nice. So if that didn't sound interesting, you weren't wanting to know where this message goes next, I can't imagine this message would be for you. Like, hang out with me if you want, but like, there's so much here about like, you cannot peek behind the curtain right now. You just have to focus on yourself. So we'll just do that for a little bit. I want to see. I just want a couple of these. Step into divine. The first one that comes out. It's all about surrender. What's meant for you won't pass you by. Trust the delays. They're aligning your path. Jeez Louise. Elevate your energy. Your energy determines your reality. Lift your vibration and watch the world shift. I actually do believe that. Like, I genuinely do. You know what's so interesting? They're I don't know how much they are, but someone gave one to me. But you know those like things you test outlets and wires with? They've got like a hot and a neutral, and like you like the two little prongs, and then on the machine it tells you like what the frequency or what the volts or whatever is. Sometimes I will hold that and then like step onto the grass and like watch my actual like energetic frequency change. I don't know why that just came to my mind. You should try that, because I've been wanting to try that with like just thought and music and see how my energy changes. Because you can literally see your energetic frequency change when you ground to the earth. Maybe getting out of the state of uncertainty, like you could see your frequency change when you start being more certain about being uncertain. Does that make sense? But help heal parent-child trauma. Healing the bond with your parents frees you from the past. It's time to release old wounds and move forward. I haven't been using this deck that long, but I've never seen that one. And I feel like if that card came out, there wouldn't be some like irreparable damage between you guys. So maybe just consider that. Because like I'm not feeling called to say like, oh, but if you're in no contact, like stay from your boundaries. Like for this to come out, I think maybe it's probably been on your mind to like maybe heal those bonds a little bit more. And it's not just your responsibility, I have to say that. But like maybe if your parents, your caregivers, or whoever has been trying to make an effort to spend more time with you, like maybe do that, right? For the Art Collective, that'll make sense, because everything that comes out in a reading is like specifically for someone, because it's your guys' energy, right? So I just wanted to see what was on your karmic contract right now that they're wanting you to look at and work on. So let's just see, because this is like this whole reading, I guess it's just like not going to be about anything other than you. Like it's all internal, which I love. That's fine. Let's just see what archetype you're sitting in right now. Whoa! The threshold. I thought you had already like passed through that, but the threshold is really literally about being on the precipice of decisions, being on the literal threshold. And this card talks about how we walk through them all the time. Like we walk through doors from space to space, and just understanding that transition is a really natural part of life, to lean into the transitions that you're going through right now. Again, whatever happened with that divine intervention moment, I think it is throwing you through the loop, but you're like you got 5 cards about destiny and the divine, like, and things being fated. So you were always going to be here. You were never going to be able to change not being on the threshold for things, right? You've probably been putting it off for quite some time. Let's be real. One more. Oh. And see, this is why I don't understand why they won't show me what's going on, because now you've got the kiss, and that's literally about like sensuality and romance and like uniting with another person, or like experiencing some sort of romantic, affectionate connection. It's about like the embrace of another person. But it can also be about like loving the world and like how love can shift throughout our lifetime. And you're on the threshold of that right now. One more. The ocean. Hold on. Because, like, now where's this going? Because this is the archetype you're in, right? Maybe whatever, maybe you really did just end, not just like maybe you're starting like a new vocation or like really on a new path, but it's also like a new thing for love for you. Like maybe you did end a relationship because there's a reason I brought that up. Like there's a reason that came to my mind. Should have paused. Sorry. Okay, so the unconscious, the depths, and the incomprehensible. The power of the ocean is unmatched. Step into the salty waters is to step into the unknown. By sheer volume, the ocean represents the unconscious, all that is beyond our understanding. We cannot live within the ocean. We cannot claim it, manage it, or own it. It rejects our every attempt to dominate nature. Yet amid its overwhelming power, it calls to us, inspires us, and invigorates our life on land. It dissolves the little us into the big us. When this energy of the ocean is present, there is change stirring that is beyond any change you've known before. There's so much here about transition and change. It makes sense too, like cosmically, like you're such a cosmic child. Like what's going on in like with the planets? Like I know there's a lot going on and it depends on what your chart is, but just the collective energy. I was out for a week because of it, guys. Like it's really intense right now. The ego must dissolve. The saline swells work on your every cell, fiber, and your deepest underlying belief. Like Aphrodite, rise from the ocean, froth a new being. Life is change. Let the waves crash. Jeez. So, what are they? What archetype are you moving into? Because that's where you're at. I think you've already walked through. I think they pushed you through that door. Like, I think they divine intervention. They fucking kicked you through that door. Like you're already on the other side of that threshold, but you're still emotionally maybe not wanting to for whatever reason accept it. What are they trying to? What is this evolving into right now for this collective? Oh my god, the unconditional love card. Holy one more. Wait, hold on. Before I read this to you, one more. Oh. And the death card, Thanatos. These are big. Like this deck is interesting because it doesn't really go off. Anyways, I'm not going to go into it. It doesn't matter. But like I see this specific. There's only like 5 or 6 of them. There's not that many. I see these as like cosmic influences. They're like major arcana in this deck. It's the easiest way for me to describe how I relate to these cards. And you got 2 of them. So they're pushing you through this threshold because the archetype you will be embodying after that is unconditional love. So whatever you went through clearly broke you in your heart space. Like it's not just work and it's not just like things in your world are changing or cosmically. Like your heart, you've been on a healing journey. And it's so that you could literally sit in the archetype of this very rarely ever comes out, this card. Because it's very rare to have unconditional love or like understand what that means, right? What if instead of putting yourself at the center of your spiritual practice, you put God, goddess, nature at the center? How would this change your approach? Such is the energy of the card. It is alive when we are in awe and wonder, our breath taken away by the sacred force that surrounds us and asks for nothing in return. This card can indicate a spiritual initiation that stretches your capacity to love and serve. You sense the earthly as the heavenly and the vice versa. It's that high priestess. This is really interesting. Like, I'm kind of at a loss for words because I think whatever this collective's going through, like, you already know all this. It won't be news to you, but I don't think you quite understand, like, how big that energy is. To embody unconditional love means to let go of the attachment of love because then you finally realize that it's just something that you feel. Right? It's not something you can possess. It's not something that you expect from other people. It's not something you try to manipulate into your situation. It's not something you're constantly craving. Like, it's because you embody this. It's because you realize that you are this frequency. It's your archetype. It's where your soul sits, right? It's like the costume your soul puts on, how it shines out. Unconditional love is a release of the attachment of love. You just feel it and you give it to the things that you love. the earth, your practice, and you expect nothing in return because that is what unconditional means. That's why it's rare. Like, it's hard to just love things and not have expectations. And even in the simplest ways, like I'm an avid gardener. Avid. I'm out there in the dirt every day that I can, right? And I care and nurture my plants and I love them. And I get really upset. Sometimes I'm better at it now when things don't make it, or, like a tree gets sick, or like I am attached, right? That's not unconditional. And I have to remind myself that to truly love, is to release attachment. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not just about people, it's about everything. It's how we interact with the things we care about, is to release it and just love it for the time that we have it and expect nothing in return. It's a really powerful archetype to sit in. And whatever you've gone through, you were always meant to sit in this, which means you're incredibly fucking rare and special. And the universe had to step in to get you to this place because it's clearly a part of your mission. And then you get the endings card. So they're wanting you to sit in endings, releasing, being a master of surrender and release with Thanatos. The true archetypal resonance of this card cannot be easily assimilated or contained. Death is ongoing and omnipresent, an internal response to the gift of birth. Witnessing the end of another being, creature, phase, or stage has deep consequences for the psyche. We are forever changed, and it sweeps us under its wings, making us relinquish control in every form. It leaves a mark of ash upon our heart, signifying we have touched the cusp of the underworld and will return to the land of the living eventually with more compassion and wisdom to share. This capacity is needed in our world. One who has faced the annihilation of this card, Thanatos, can face anything. When this card appears, it signifies the initiation into the underworld. It says, when in light, grieving, mourning, bearing witness to all that is. Whoever this and look at what I picked up the deck, and this was the one that was still on the table. That was, oh my God, I have chills. Full body chills. That was fucking magic. Whoever this collective is, I don't think you even understand like the responsibility or the power of the archetype that you're moving through with this threshold, letting go of the physical attachment to things and the physical sensation of things by literally surrendering in the ocean of the unattainable, right? This card was all about the fact that we cannot tame the ocean. You cannot control your things. And in that way, it wouldn't surprise me if you're a true like divine connection, like a twin flame soulmate, red thread, not the soulmate. I mean, we have soulmates, lots of people have soulmates, but like that's a very small percentage of like connected beings, because this is the end result of that. And it would also make sense too why they're not going to tell me what's next, because it really doesn't matter. It is about you. That's what the divine journey is about. Let's get one more. The Destroyer. Oh my God. 23. What is going on? The Unexpected. The Savage, the Destroyer, the final of the three archetypes in the trio of existence, has necessary yet powerful work to do in the world. What was I just saying? This, like, culturally, we have an aversion to endings, and we hang on to the prominence as a signifier of success. Yet the Destroyer pulls the rug out from underneath relationships, jobs, homes, and all forms of security. You were put through that divine intervention moment, and again, I don't think it would be your first one, so you could become a master at learning how to let go. There's so much here about surrender, which is such a divine fucking lesson. Like that is I think it's the ultimate in enlightenment when you let go, when you truly just let go, right? Very strong connection to source this creator would have, because these are powerful cards. The destroyer pulls the okay, so it's the part of us that wants things to end. Its painful orientation is to uncover our true purpose. The destroyer does not let us linger long in comforts like this kiss card, as it knows not much happens in that realm. With its piercing eyes, it seeks out stagnancy from a distance, and the rest becomes history. In the old myth, this is a moment when heads begin to roll. The ground opens up and the castle crumbles. Hold on for the ride. The destroyer has arrived. You'll have to, if this message is really for you, you'll have to let me know what you do. Like, what you do, what your path is, because clearly it's really important. Like, holy shit. I want to see how Source is seeing your animal energy. If you get the cosmic egg, I'm going to throw this deck across the room. I can't imagine you getting anything less magical. The zebra. Of course. You're meant to change literally the world. This is my world explorer. This is like, I'll read it to you. Of course, you're the zebra. Of course you are. The turtle. And I always see Turtle Island when I see that card. So you'd be very connected to the land. But why is the mouse here? I want one more for that. That's about being run down, and maybe it's a message you just need to hear. But the Luna Tiger. Oh my God. Where's that damn book? Oh, the zebra. So this is why and you would already know this. This whole message none of it will come as a surprise. You should resonate so deeply with the confirmation that you're already on the right path. Like, none of this would be a surprise to the right collective. This is 100% me just being a cheerleader, which you clearly deserve, right? But like, there is no something's coming or what's next or someone's about to enter. Like, this is all for you to show you how special you truly fucking are, to remind you, right? And I think you know that, but again, you're feeling uncertain. Babe, there is not a universe or timeline in existence where this would not be monumentally important. So, eccentric, creative, but a visionary. Zebras are the most precious of gems. They are young at heart, well-cultured, and have an undying curiosity about life. Being in the company of a zebra personality is not only a delight, but it opens our minds. Be prepared. Their magic is potent and contagious. You may soon find yourself in a faraway land, expanding your worldview while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to global health through environmental or volunteer work. So global health just means every living thing, including the planet, like being more prosperous. You could literally work in medicine, but just the health of Mother Earth and all of her inhabitants through environmental or volunteer work. So you literally have that heart of gold. No wonder they're showing you or pushing you into the unconditional love. You can change the world without having unconditional love, but it comes from a place of love. It's one of the most powerful frequencies in our universe. You would know this. But again, this is a reminder. And then you've got the turtle. But that's the slow journey. that is that long and winding road. Why can't I just pause the thing today? I don't know why. I'm gonna lose it. Where is it? Oh, just saw it. Ancient soul, grounded, trusting. You are an ancient soul. Probably since the beginning of time. I say that all the time. I think I was one of the first souls because I'm just exhausted, and you would probably feel the same way. But again, this is the mastery of a soul lesson. So this is like the soul has been trying to get to a point where it can actually learn this lesson and then walk into this archetype for so many reincarnations. It's wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. Like the beaver, the turtle has a strong relationship with the earth and the water elements simultaneously. This helps ground and connect them to the deeper truths in life, no matter where their travels lead them. There's a lot here on travel too. So if you are someone who don't have anything on the horizon, I think that is one little tiny clue that things are about to change in that department. And you also got that. Did you get that start card? Was that another reading today? I don't remember. but it's coming to my mind because I was seeing it in my, like, the stork, the transformation card. It's about movement. Turtle energy is beyond all great writers, storytellers, and as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all other books and begin to tell our own true tale. But the nervousness and the being run down, the mouse is constantly running around and, like, you know, trying to put things together and trying to control. But then you've got the Luna tiger over it, and that's all about surrender and magic. Lunar forces eases darkness and feminine energy. So the divine feminine. It hunts at night. Oh, this card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the calm. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except for the awakening of your own power. So just remembering, like, again, that you're truly connected in magic. God, that's blowing me away. I'm not gonna lie. Like the cards are great and, like, the explanation is great. I can't really explain what I feel like. It just feels like reading someone who is destined for greatness without being hyperbolic. You know what I mean? I want to get you what comes next, but I doubt that they're going to tell me. Let's just try. Hold on. Let's see what moon cycle you're going to be in for a little while. Luck being on your side. I love that card. New moon and Sagittarius. Maybe put that on your calendar. Like, figure out when the new moon. And looking at, there's big Sagittarius energy. Looking at the bigger picture. You've got big picture energy written all over your soul. But luck is on your side. So don't be uncertain right now. There's no reason to be uncertain right now. Like, not even a little bit. I want one more. The energy is gaining momentum. And again, you're at the very beginning of something huge. Small beginnings, huge potential. What was that? One last one. And a lot of pink and purple. And pink, color of love. It can also be green because that's what the heart chakra is. But a personal issue reaching a resolution. Full moon in Cancer. And see, that's what I think. I don't know if that's come to your table yet. You'll know. Let's just see with tarot what comes next. If it comes out in tarot, maybe we'll have to break it down. If not, this should just be a good, like, solid, you know, confirmation that this collective's on the right path. You've got an 8 of Cups coming up. So it is not. Well, we'll just see what else came out with it. 10 of Coins. That's nice. That's a family legacy. And you had that Chandelier card. So it's kind of up and down energy, but you've got Empress in reverse with Queen of Wands, and that's clearly you of what comes next. So having too many irons in the fire, being pessimistic and temperamental. She's kind of a hothead, but she can't even explain why she wants what she wants. Like, she's just not very easily moved. And then Empress in reverse, like, she's very codependent and her creativity is blocked, but she neglects her own body and, like, doesn't pay attention to her, like, a lot of things that go on internally. It can also be a card of, like, insecurity, like, body issue wise. That's, I think, one of your only blocks. It would make sense if you've got all that cosmic energy around you and you're just not seeing yourself. You know what I'm going to say about that? That's silly and nonsense. Like, geez Louise. You embody unconditional love. Get it together. In the nicest way. But 3 of Cups, a time to celebrate. But why is the reunion sticking out on me on there? I want one more for that. Oh, what was 3 of Wands? Restriction. It's in reverse. So some sort of return. Some sort of regression. Thinking small. Why does that feel like a specific situation? Like I was seeing like a get together. And I'm hearing homecoming. You're not in high school, but like something about that. We'll just have to see. Because you've got 8 of Cups. You're going to be you've already been forcefully removed and or walking away from things, but you've got another one coming. Unfortunately. And that's one. That's one of the most painful cards, in my opinion, because you walk away from things you don't want to walk away from that are not a total disaster or like, a total breakdown. Like they're sort of fixable, or even emotionally, you still feel tied to something, but you walk away because you know you have to. Like it's not easy. It's not walking away because there's no options left. It's just like biting the bullet. I hate, like, it's such a painful card, and it takes a long time. It takes months to really settle into the energy, and then it takes even longer to actually solidify it. But on the other side, you've got a 10 of coins life waiting for you. So there's still some sort of trial and tribulation coming. I'm not laughing at you, but there's a reason they didn't want to show me anything like this at the very beginning, because you might not have watched. Is what I'm thinking. One more for that. And 3 and 3. 3, 3, 3. Your angels are all around you. Trust in the divine. One more for that. Queen of Swords. It's going to require you to be very mentally strong. The restrictions and the postponements and the regressions, you're going to have to just be very on top of that. She's very fair, but she only accepts the truth. It's all intellect, no emotion. So there's something here that's going to be a 2 of Swords in reverse. Your whole body is going to be telling you don't engage. And they're still not really giving me a whole lot of detail, but oh my god, you know what I just noticed? Cosmic Egg is on the bottom. I want just one more of what that is coming up for this collective. Some sort of overcommitment, some sort of poor choice. You'll know. It might already even be on your radar. It's going to make you feel scattered and dropping the ball. You're going to have to cut through that bullshit. It's going to be one of your last tests. What's this? Empress in reverse and Queen of Wands. That is, again, that's your emotional block. That is what is... So you've got too much on your plate right now. You need to reduce. It's creating mental anguish. It's creating insomnia and anxiety and dark thoughts and worry. You're uncertain right now. So we see it. It's coming literally from internally how you're seeing your world. And then externally doing too much, right? One more. In a way, good. Ace of Swords is over it. Some sort of clarity, some sort of communication, some sort of truth, but it's going to be decisive. And again, sword is intellect. It's not going to be an emotional thing. It's going to be very clear and cut and dry, whatever this is. I have a feeling, because I keep looking at that reunion, there's some sort of something. There's something around that's just mucking up the energy and making you feel very insecure and blocked and like very pessimistic and easily moved. That's what's creating the uncertainty, the awareness and the insight. It's on the way, but it's going to require an 8 of Cups to remedy it. One more. And now you've got the King of Coins, and he's my green-eyed monster. I want one more. So what you walk away from could be a King of Coins in reverse energy. Someone who's very stubborn and ungrounded, possessive. Someone, it could be a literal breakup. Maybe that's a part of your journey you haven't gone through yet, and you're on the fence. But whoever this person is, they're ruled by materialism, and they're very hasty, and all they do is get in the way. And then, like, I'm sure this is someone you love, but you have to release this and move on. Someone could have literally broken up with you too, because this is about rejection and turmoil. 5 of Coins is really hard. It's where everything falls away. Everything. This can be about financial ruin and alienation. Whatever this is, you have got to walk away from this energy. And for the right collective, I think you would already know what this is. One more. Yeah, something that you have been not honest with yourself about. You've been suppressing your intuition about. You've been kept in the dark and you felt like you've been missing information, but it's only been isolating you. Whatever that is, you got to walk away from it. That's what comes next. And it's not going to be fun, but what's this 10 of Coins? Whoa. And the 10 and 10. Oh, cycle completion. 10 10 of Cups, 10 of Coins, harmony, bliss, emotionally fulfilled with like lineage and privilege and security and a legacy and idealism. What am I trying to say? Peace. Winter solstice, finding the light. This could take a year or more. Or maybe you've been trying to tie up loose ends since the winter solstice. It's time to hibernate your feelings. I want one more for that. This has been on hold for a year or more, is what I just heard. Because of whatever this is. That means it is overdue. Overdue for you to slap that 8 of Cups over it. Oh my God, I hope you haven't been sitting in this for a year or more. Like, no judgment, but oh my God. One more. 7 of Cups in reverse. Focus, clear, action. Thank God. You've got 2 cards of seeing very clearly. I think this is literally 10, 10, 10. Oh my God. 10 of Swords. This is the final chapter. Whatever it is, you've been sitting in this energy, some sort of decision for a year or more, and it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. Let this be your sign. Last one. The Sun. Yes, that's a big, it literally says yes on it. Big, fat yes, all caps. But truly, light, shining the light on these decisions, having freedom and energy rush, letting it go. That moon energy we just had, perfect time to be doing that too. So again, let this be your sign. What angel is watching over you? Guardian of divine light, clear healing light, aids light worker, spiritual insight, a patron of the arts and sciences. I hold the mirror of the soul to help you see how to come in alignment with your true inner self. Labradorite, instantaneous. Maybe I'm wearing my Labradorite choker today. Maybe you need to get you some Labradorite. And then reconfigure a loving connection. That's what it is. You're being asked to change up the way you're doing things in romance. And that's going to be hard to hear. But if you've been sitting in that energy for a year or more, and you know it, otherwise I wouldn't be saying it like that. Whether you're single or in a relationship, your angels would like you to take today to reflect and reconfigure how you go about connecting with others. Give yourself a hug right now and feel the love you have within abundantly through your body and soul. And then end it. Sorry. Like, I know that's not going to be a comfortable thing, but like, you have way bigger shit you need to be doing. You embody unconditional love. Don't love unconditioned with whatever's going on right now. You know better. So good luck.